Welcome to Digital Fashion Week Day 2. And today we are initiating Day 2 with this activity forum. We have 3 speakers and the founder of Digital Fashion Week, Karina, and me, I'm the host of Digital Fashion Week Day 2. I have a co-host, Sonia. She will be doing another part. Meanwhile, I'll be sitting here. I'll be asking a lot of questions to the guests and speakers. So today we will start with the first speaker, and we will have everyone together here, and we will have a casual chat, and we discuss about fashion and their own brands and their own businesses, and how do they sustain, how do they push their market and their perspective in the fashion industry, and how it is changing, and how it is linked to, you know, concern about the environment, everything about fashion industry. And also, you know, we need to wear clothes every day, and I'm sure everyone has different styles, and I want to hear everything about fashion from their perspective. So I'll be asking different questions. Anyways, I just want to make it casual. So we will start with first, Miss Christelle Novich-Domecq. I try my best. I'm sorry, my French is very horrible.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. My name is Jasmine Wu. Do you mind if you can pronounce your name?
My name is Christelle Novich-Domecq. I'm French, as my accent can say.
I wish I could speak, but Christelle, nice to meet you. Please
to
have
meet
a
you.
seat, and please feel free to speak. And I heard you're going to have images at the back.
Yes.
So
I will flash some images to show some brand that I'm talking about. Let me do a quick introduction of myself.
sure.
I started my career as a designer, working with Lanvin and Le Maire. I shift into publishing, being fashion editor with international magazine like Vogue Italia, like Vanity Fair, and get lucky to work with the most famous photographer in the world, such like Richard Avedon, Peter Lindbergh, Paolo Roversi.
Wow.
And traveling all around the world for fashion shooting. And then I shift into retail world. I was called by Lane Crawford in Hong Kong to become their market director in Paris.
Oh, I see.
So it means looking for new brand, new concept, what's up in Paris, and it's a very competitive market in Hong Kong. So it's really to be the first one to catch the new brand.
Mm-hmm.
So that was how I started into retail, and then I was. I serve as creative director in Singapore.
Wow.
For Tangs, the department store.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an amazing experience during 2 years. And I moved back to Paris last year. And I still have a lot of passion for Southeast Asia and all the creativity. I've been following up all the designers in the region, trying to work with them, with schools. So that's a very exciting scene.
Wow. You've been all over the place. So now you are based in
Paris.
Paris.
Back in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
So today I'm going to talk about the globalization of the fashion market.
Okay.
Those days, all the business models are shifting. Magazine turn into e-commerce. E-commerce, like Net-a-Porter, they do their own magazine. So everyone is trying to reinvent the business.
Yes.
So I've picked three directions, 3 points that will help brand to grow and to be competitive and to stand out from the crowd. So the first one will be storytelling. The second one will be strong DNA. And the third one will be sustainability.
In the fashion industry.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Mm-mm.
So, storytelling.
Okay.
What does it mean?
Storytelling.
It's buy a piece of my history. When you carry a Chanel bag, you want to be part of the Chanel history. you believe in all the strong DNA, and it means you belong to a group. It's a code, and the people are much more now into speaking between each other with smaller groups. Like, for example, in the 90s, Martin Margiela start with having the white stitches at the back of the sweaters. And there was a versatile code that only the people who know it, they talk between each other. And now with the fragmentation of the market, there is really smallest group of people that talk between each other.
Yes.
And we have so many brands that this is also how people can make the difference. It's history, it's storytelling. So intentionally, I pick up 2 international brands that are not in Jakarta yet, I believe. And maybe you can flash the first picture of Moana. Picture.
It's coming. Is that your company logo?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Voilà, so I wanted to talk about Moana. It's a Goya competitor. It's belonged to Mr. Bernard Arnault himself. It's a house that is more than 160 years old. And they relaunch it. The quarantine infused a new soul, and they've been giving a new life to a forgotten name, staying focused on true to the experience and heritage of the maison. So it's really, storytelling is very important for all the heritage brand. Next slide, please. So that's the Moana store in Paris, next to Goya.
Wow, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
They're expanding in Hong Kong, and they really play very hard into heritage and storytelling. There's another brand I wanted to mention. Next slide, please. Which is Roger Vivier. Voilà. So Roger Vivier was designing the shoes for Christian Dior in the 50s and 60s. He opened his store in Paris in the 60s. And the brand have been relaunched by Diego de la Valle from Tod's, I believe in 2006. And they have a strong heritage, beautiful archive. And you can pass the next slide, please. So it's really... So I've put also the number of followers on Instagram in every brand I'm going to mention.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Voilà, so that's really archive, reinterpretation of a brand, storytelling, which is a true one, because sometimes we all know that storytelling can be fake, but it's...
In order to maintain a market,
Exactly, it can be really a market, and there's a lot of agency that this is our job, right? But those one, it's kind of a true story. And the first one I wanted to talk about, it's a French brand. It's the first digital, you can pass the next slide, please. Voilà. Alors, Cézanne, it's very interesting. It's a brand that opened in France for the first time as only e-commerce. No brick and mortar, no store. The story of the founder is interesting. She was selling vintage on eBay, and she became very successful. She has a great eye. She has a lot of followers, and after I believe 1 or 2 years, she started to have her own product.
Okay.
Very limited, right product, the right price, and she found her company in 2012. 5 years from now, she has more than 120 employees. And can you pass the next slide, please? And her business model is really into e-commerce. And she decided to open apartments, which is incredible because you go to those apartments. They have one in Paris, and they recently opened in New York. And you choose, but most of the time you cannot buy because there's a huge waiting list. And sometimes you can even apply on the waiting list because it's so the success, the storytelling of this brand, how they are young, they are really into digital. It's the right product. The price is very decent because there's no in between. There's no. It's direct sale. So it's very successful. And whenever you go there on Saturday afternoon in Paris, people are literally queuing outside of the store.
Oh, wow.
And it's just normal day. For Paris, it's really, really rare. And it's a very good example on how the storytelling, the new generation, the digital people are succeeding now.
That's interesting.
Voilà.
Next.
Voilà, that's also Cézanne. So it's very casual, the right price, and everything is around $100. So it's a very interesting brand. And then I wanted to talk also about another way for the brand to be different, to stand out, is the DNA. So now you all compete with the world. Sorry, there's no longer a regional market with e-commerce. Sorry.
Take your time.
So it is really crucial to renew the business model. And also the big brand, more and more, the luxury brand, they are doing limited edition.
Oh, yes.
They are for Chinese New Year, big group like LVMH, like Estée Lauder, they do limited edition for Chinese New Year's, and they really went into niche and more of personalization. So a way for a brand also to take attention is to present, it's to be, I will say, out of the trend, to be very different and to have a strong point of view. So I picked two examples. I picked one brand from Italy, from Milan, named La Double J. Can you flash the picture, please? Voilà. So it's a brand that has been created by J.J. Martin in Milan. She's American-born. And she partnered with Montero, a beautiful, a famous Italian fabric makers. So basically, she used the print, and her universe is very different. And it's really, so I picked this from Business of Fashion. What is clever is that they haven't pigeonholed themselves. Oh, I'm sorry for my accent. You better read it. You better say it.
Not with me. Anyone can help?
You can pass the next slide, please. Voilà, so you see our universe, it's very strong, very different.
Beautiful.
And she went immediately into lifestyle. Great digital strategy and really strong design. You can pass the next slide, please.
It's unique?
Yeah, it's very one of a kind, and it's
recognizable.
Yes,
like people can spot it easily.
And I believe she was also very strong into vintage. At the beginning, she had a vintage website, and then she turned into having her own brand. And she stocked in beautiful store like Le Bon Marché, beautiful store, and it's very interesting.
It's beautiful. Not just a dress, they have.
Yeah, the lifestyle.
All kind of dishes to the mat.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And the second one I wanted to talk about is an English designer named Marie Catranzou. Can you pass the next slide, please? Voilà. So Marie Catranzou, it's an interesting story. Because when she'd done her graduation show from St. Martin, she was, design was so unique, using huge, oversized jewelry on jersey bonding dresses, that she was picked immediately by incredible stores such like Joyce, Brown, Colette. And again, she did not follow. She bring really something different. She has been copying everywhere in the world. You can paste the next slide, please. Voilà.
Wow.
With a really colorful, happiness, and strong design again. So it's an interesting case study, and she does also collaboration with big names, co-branding, which is now part of every single marketing campaign. You can pass the next slide, please. So she's done collaboration with Disney, with Adidas.
Wow.
And it's really also someone that I believe she stands out because of her design, because of point of view. Voilà.
Wow. So this is another way to market the
exactly.
brand.
Exactly.
I see.
Yes.
And
then I wanted also to... I think it's very important now, since we really think globally and we heard a lot about how we want to take care of the planet and all this. I mean, there's no luxury if you don't pay attention to all this. Kering, I believe 2 days ago, I've done a big announcement that they are going. Kering is the big group who owns Balenciaga and Stella McCartney, and they really they sign an agreement for the climate change. So this is and also what they have done with Gucci, the fact that they're no longer going to use fur.
Yes.
So it's like, I mean, it's consciousness. It's when you want to buy something, you also, I mean, in terms of luxury, you always also have to respect the people.
And also the animals.
And animals as well. So I picked 2 examples of upcycling. What is upcycling? It's so this example from Eva Zingoni. She's a designer, and she buys surplus of fabric from couture houses in Paris, and she does limited edition of dresses. The price is very decent. It's all limited. It's and she really, everything is handmade in Paris. It's a beautiful concept, and she was part of the COP21 climate summit in Paris 2 years ago. Regarding upcycling, there's another one that I think is very interesting, even though I think in Asia maybe people are not that much into vintage. But it's a jewelry brand. Can you pass the next slide? And the next. Voilà. So La Tonkinoise, basically what she does, she's going to the flea market, and she upcycle, reinvent jewelry with piece of jewelry who are like maybe one earrings, and she kind of reinvent. And she's selling all around the world. I was really amazed when I used to live in Singapore to meet some people who were wearing her jewelry.
Yes.
It's very unique. So everything is one piece. The price, again, it's not really expensive. And she's passionate into giving a second life to vintage jewelry, and following the trend, and having, again, a strong DNA, I can say.
It's also to conserve the environment.
Exactly, exactly. It's a way, I mean, yes, it's about recycling. It's about not waste as well. And it's a way it's a good way for me to follow for my next slide, which is the movement. Can you pass the next one? Voilà. So this is a group who is kind of following all the sustainability and luxury in worldwide. They do summit, they do pop-up store, trunk show about what it is to be sustainable. The criteria are very hard to be part of this organization, named 1618, which is the golden number. And it's a very interesting initiative for the people to be part of it and to really respect all those criteria. Alors, and then we are in Indonesia. And I think it is interesting also to mention Parley for the Ocean. It's an organization. What they collect the plastic in the sea, and they reuse it, and they partner, for example, with Adidas. So and they partner also with G-Star to do collaboration, and so they have made sneakers. I believe I have a picture of the sneakers.
They make sneakers out of the plastic bottles? Yeah. Recycled one. Yeah. Wow, how does it look like?
Yeah.
Next. Okay, so this is the collection.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one they have done with Adidas. They've done some also with other big brand. And now I think the customer, they are not stupid. I mean, they really, if you do something really with your heart, I mean, because sometimes people just take the opportunity to pretend they do sustainability, and they don't. But those groups, they are very, how can I say?
The action coming from your heart.
Exactly. So it's really important, and they really
mean it by doing it. Not just, oh, I'm doing recycle. I'm being friendly to the environment.
So that's a huge movement, and I think it's in the future, it's just necessary. It's not a luxury.
It's a must.
It's a must. Okay. Absolutely.
Do you also think this is also one of the, the marketing strategy that...
It is. But then I think for the customer, they can see the difference. I'm not going to talk about the big group. They all take this opportunity as marketing purposes. But then that's why I was more talking about, maybe it's more niche brand, but the way they do it. And now, some big group as well, they have consciousness about that. Even Hermès, they do Petit H. They recycle all the silk out of the scarves, and they do small collection. And they've been doing it for a while, and it's not, they don't even market it that much.
Wow.
So there's a lot of initiative.
Okay. So I know you have your own company, which is fashion brand consulting company, and it's called Agent Double.
Yes.
So are you also taking care of this marketing strategy or other brands, trying to be involved in, environment-friendly project, all these? That's why you're talking about this is also part of their business.
Yes, I mean, we help brands if they want to expand in Asia, or Asian brand if they want to expand in Europe, or American brand in Europe. So we give kind of a big vision about what is the retail, but we also take care of image, branding, and I've been in the business since a long time. I've been seeing a lot of shows and a lot of brands, so it's just to give my expertise and how to make things working and being successful.
Okay, so are your clients in all over the place, or you're focusing on?
They are, most of the time they are not French.
Okay. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. They're American or Asian.
And what are their brands about? Clothing or
shoes, jewelry, fine jewelry. Because I'm a gemologist. Ready to wear handbags.
And how do you work with them? As in, you're the consult, and now
it really depends. I also work with the sustainable brand, or proudly made in India, following all to respect the people. So it really it's case to case. Do we say that? It really depends of the brand.
I think it's very interesting to hear about being environment friendly when it comes to fashion, because I think it's a little bit sensitive question to talk with the people who is within the fashion industry, because although we all need to be careful about what we buy, what we create. But still, if we see something looks good, that you want to dress up in, then, you know, sometimes people just...
I know, man. I totally agree with you, and I think there's also different level of consciousness, depending on the region where you are based. They don't have the same mentality in the States, the same mentality in Europe or in Asia.
Yes.
So it's also a sociologic way to consume, to reach a certain level of consumerism, and to then have the luxury to decide, which is not necessarily easy for everyone.
This is also part of the education.
It is, it is. But I think in Asia, people are very fast. They catch very fast the worldwide movement. So it will be something that will... And there's already great initiative from brand in the region. I've been working with brand in Cambodia, in Singapore, in Vietnam, who are really also into this. Yes.
I think every continent has different trend or the way the fashion trend goes. But since we have international designers here today as speakers, and also we have the founder of the Digital Fashion Week, maybe we can have all of us together and you can continue to share the opinions.
Sure.
And we can have our discussion right here. So please, the speakers here, Betty Tran and Gianmarco, nice to meet you. I would like to have you introduce yourself. So please have a seat. If you want to sit in the middle, that looks very nice. For ladies and gentlemen in the middle. Well balanced.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, let's start with you so that then we will have all the ladies talking about the brands and fashion. So, yes.
Okay. Yes, I'm Gianmarco Morazzoni. I'm the owner of the brand Mora 1962. And this is the brand of our family brand from more than 50 years. And we try to continue this business of this brand in the luxury position in the market. So we continue to develop our design, our idea, our quality, and absolutely for Made in Italy production. This is our mission, this is our idea of the collection, and I think that this is one of the big point of our success of this brand.
I see. The brand name is Mora 1962.
1962, yes.
So 1962 is
the date of the build of the brand.
Okay, wow. And Mora is coming from your last name.
Yes, it's a part of my last name. Yes, because
your full name is Gianmarco
Gianmarco
Morazzoni. Sorry,
yes.
Different languages, it gives me a difficult time.
Yes,
so it comes from your family and it's being 3 generations to you.
Yes, this is the 3rd generation. I'm the 3rd generation. And at the beginning, we start to work with the Italian market because I think that many years ago the business was different than now. And till 96, 97 we have decided to change our retail and our business, and we have tried to expand this brand in the other country. And now, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, after 20 years we work 100% for foreign market. And unfortunately not for Italy. I don't know if this is fortunate.
It just keep going, right? Where
know.
around in international region outside of Italy that you're expanding your brand?
Now one of the most important market is the Russian market.
Russian market?
Yes.
Is there anything that is related to your brand Italy, from Italy going to Russia?
Yeah. We have started many years ago, around 10 years ago, to make exhibition in Russian, to know the brand, to propose our brand, to make a marketing. and it was really hard. And then after 6-7 years, we have found a very good partner, and now we work very well with the Russian market, but not only for Moscow, that is the most important region or business in Russia, but also with Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Ukraine,
Middle East.
Yes, Belarus, all this region around Moscow. And at the moment, we are really satisfied with this market.
Oh, wow. Your brand is, I think you're wearing your own brand today,
Yes,
right?
this is one of
Can you show us?
Yes, this is
Can
one
you
of
show
my
us?
productions.
Yes?
Yes.
Can you show? It's made with cotton, yarn.
Yes. Normally we use cotton, linen, or silk, and we try to use always natural fabric.
Oh, wow.
Made in Italy production of the fabric, and also made in Italy production of the garment. We try to do always the top quality of the fabric.
Yes.
And every season we try to introduce some new design, especially with the print. That is very important part of our collection. Is the flower, is the paisley, and different kind of design of print. And every season our idea is to find new color, new print, to continue this kind of collection of men's polo shirt with print.
I see. It's very interesting that your brand has been carried over generation and generation. Nowadays the fashion is everywhere. There are so many ways to have the brands on social media, e-commerce, pop-up shops, or some collaborations. But yours is very special and unique and has a history. And it's a long history coming from Italy.
Yes.
Later, I would like to ask more about how you keep your brand image and how you keep your tradition in your brand culture,
Yes,
and keep your family rules in the fashion, etc., etc. But anyways, thank you very much for telling us.
You're welcome.
And welcome to Digital Fashion Week.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And next.
Hello, Jasmine.
Hi, nice to meet you,
Lovely
Betty.
to meet you. Thank you for having us, being part of Digital Fashion Week.
Thank you very much for coming and joining the speakers session. Can you tell us about your background and also your brand? And this is casual chat, so please have your time and whatever you want to share, we would like to hear.
Sure. I found that the presentation that Christelle shared today resonate a lot about what I do. Just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I'm Vietnamese born, but I'm an Australian designer. I'm based in Australia, and within 5 years we managed to take the brand now globally and stock in over 20 countries around the world.
Wow.
In a very short amount of time, 6 months, and we still have a lot of work to do. But our company just entered into a very interesting phase where I was operated from a retailer going to a different business of wholesaling and licensing, which is something that's completely new to me.
Okay.
So a lot of people would say that I'm a red carpet designer, but I would like to say, I would like to introduce myself as a life changer designer.
Life changer and red carpet designer, right?
You know, I think this marked the moment of why I choose the thing that I do, is that I'm myself as a woman, and when I decided to start my brand, the thing that made me feels very difficult to find in the market was that, you know, I'm looking for something as a statement, something stand out from the crowd, because I see fashion is the same everywhere, and I want to actually have something with a still beautiful design element, but with a point of difference, and make me stand out. And I couldn't find anything like that in the market, and so I decided I want to start Betty Tran. The moment you see the Betty Tran dress on the runway, you will see that's what I do, to make the woman stand out from the crowd without a doubt.
Life changer.
You know, and giving the woman the confidence, you know, and I think that a lot of things that I've been explaining to my client is that I can make you look amazing, I can make you look beautiful, but it's something I cannot do is to make your soul beautiful. So in order, and I guess it's something come with the philosophy of the brand, is that, you know, we educate women that the beauty comes from within, and that everything that we do is coming from educating that within. Even though we make beautiful dresses and we make the woman look amazing, it's so important that as a brand, you gotta have to stand out and create your own DNA, and the message that you communicate to your audience is so important. And just to give you an example of the thing that I do, Betty Tran represent diversity, and we promote women from around the world. We, you know, for us, it's important to, in all my campaign, I always include women who come from different backgrounds around the world, whether you're Asian, whether you are African, or whether you are, you know, European. We all want the same thing, is to feel beautiful, and that's something, yes, when I start Betty Tran, that's what I capture. We all want to feel beautiful, but sometimes we don't know where we start. And I truly believe we need to start from within. And how I promote my brand so differently is, you know, in 2012, in 2014 actually, I took a group of indigenous women with me. And what I did was, I asked the organizer that I don't want just a supermodel who's that tall, because we have a standard size in the industry that you need to be at that certain height, you need a certain body measurement in order for you to be qualified as a supermodel. For me, I want to bring the everyday woman on my runway and give him that life-changing moment of that princess moment that doesn't matter where you come from. You have that one opportunity equally, just like any other woman around the world, to shine and to feel the best that you can be.
Yes.
And that's what I do. So I guess this is my passion, is to actually continue to infuse that message into everything that I do. And so, you know, we now in our website, we recently starting a group community called the Betty Tran Woman. And what I do is I'm so passionate to identify other women like myself who have been overcome enormous amount of challenges, you know, in our life, you know, being a woman, multitasking, running a business. But deep down, we all want to contribute. We all want to starting whether a business that can really help another person, or, you know, we all have that passion. And it doesn't matter whether men, we all want that. We all create on this earth for a reason. And I think that so important, you know, I'm in my own way be able to create that platform together, like-minded women around the world, to celebrate our differences, our challenges. People talk about success, but people don't talk about vulnerability. They don't talk about struggle. And so at Betty Tran, we provide that platform. I bring these women together. Before I host Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, I create a brunch where I gather like-minded women around the world, and it was sponsored by Red Can of Australia, as well as Google Australia. And we bring these women together to talk about thing that is holding us back, thing that we, you know, we are finding difficult. We don't talk about just how I got here because of this, you know. And these are the things, activity, I feel as a designer, I feel that's my responsibility, is that I don't just make top, pants, dresses. I have the responsibility to make the woman who wearing my garment to feel that she have everything she needs to be the best that she can be.
Wow. By listening to your stories, I can feel your passion. It's so strong. I love it. I don't need to talk. I want you to keep talking about your story, your passion, how you keep your brands. So now you're based in?
I'm a little bit everywhere at the moment, because we are on a mission. I spent a lot of time in Australia, but I'm developing a team because I was born in Vietnam. I'm now returning to my country. Talk about sustainability. I recently just judged a competition called Sustainable Fashion that's sponsored by Elle magazine, which I'm also the judge for the program. And I would like to touch a little bit on this topic, if that's okay.
Sure. Maybe I can pass my microphone to you. And if you are familiar with this sustainability.
Thank you.
I'm so connected when she said to me that designers have to find their own DNA and that we have to be self-aware. Most people think sustainable fashion is something that unreachable and is something gigantic that, you know, they don't even know where to start from. And I start the conversation from going to university and just talk to them. It's everything about that you do and the purpose that drive you every single day to do the thing that you do. And so just to give you a little bit of idea, you know, we do a competition with these students who was given the resources by WUMA Australia to put together a collection. And when I talked to them, I said to them, how would you sort the rest of all the fabric? And they said to me, I'm not sure just yet, but maybe I would go and buy some other fabric, that linen and cotton, and instantly they thought it's sustainable. It's interesting that people think sustainability is organic and think that natural fiber. That's not what sustainability is all about. I think that I've learned something is that sustainability is in the way that you live, you breathe, your philosophy, and how you communicate every day. And you know what I said to them? I sent them to the factory and I said, why wouldn't you go and ask to collect all the fabric from all the factory? They have enormous amount of fabric and recycling them. They bring all the denim, they bring all the cotton, and they came to this factory together and created a collection from scratch. And they actually inspire me. So my next collection is, you know, I wanted to deconstruct my existing collection, revisiting all the collection I've done in the past and make something new.
Yes, this you mentioned to me, and I think that's very important. This is upcycling, because it's true that sustainability is something a bit difficult to understand because there are so many labels. I mean, for example, in India, you can buy the label and being sustainable. It's very difficult to have all the criteria. But this upcycling, what you were mentioning, that you kind of revamp the collection, and I think it's exactly a way to reuse and to give some consistency as well to the brand, and freshness, and to really being into sustainability as well.
Yeah, and I think that is amazing to not only, you know, have a good understanding about fashion, but as our responsibility to educate ourselves and also to pass on that knowledge to, you know, to the rest. And I'm so glad to be part of this panel. And the credits go to you, Karina. You have been doing so much work to bring it all together. And we just want to thank you for the opportunity. And I know the thing you've been doing with the Raffle College, you know, also the university, bringing in that education. I think education is going to be the change. And people like Christelle are going to, you know, giving us that information on how to make that change.
Yes, thank you. I mean, it's my pleasure to have all of you guys here. I think this chat, it's more on like understanding, like, you know, each one of you running a different businesses. Fashion is business as much as it's passion. So what a lot of people tend to forget is actually how to convert that passion to a workable and profitable business. So as much as we talk about passions, marketing is cost, expenses, by the way. So how do we actually get that and turn that back to profit? And this is what, you know, from what you two share, and Crystal as well, you know, you two has think beyond what I think, you kind of like the step 2 of what fashion business or fashion designers should be doing in terms of, okay, think of yourself, like, you know, Mora brand. It is not a person, it's a brand. Betty Tran is not a person, you're Betty Tran. But Betty Tran is a business, you know? So you think of this brand, how can I bring this outside my country? You bring it to Russia, Middle East, you know, and then you struggle there. This is the vulnerability stories that you shared. But you stay true to that because you see the vision that I need to find a partner there. That is actually the kind of story that I think, look, as much as you are looking at this, you know, creativity, you know, think of where else or what can I do to expand my revenue stream, you know. Maybe these people, maybe my design doesn't work here, maybe it works in another place. And if another place does not work like what you did, you find a partner, but that needs to have that business thinking. So actually, I'm here because I'm curious myself. Initially, it was just the four of you, but I'm like, okay, I need to sit here because I want to ask questions. So my first questions will go to Gianmarco. What makes you want to go to Russia, first of all, and how long it takes for you to find a partner there, and how do you find a partner there?
Yes.
That's three questions.
No, of course you need time to find the best partner, or the partner will be okay for your brand, sorry, and for your idea of your market, because we invest money and time for the exhibition, for travel, to visit the customer, to visit the agent, to visit the possible partner, but not always. As the first step, you find the best one, or what we are searching, okay?
Yeah.
You need time, you need capacity, I think, also to see which is the person introduced in the market that knows the product and want to grow up also with you, because we make a production only made in Italy, and of course when you propose our collection, our brand, you need to propose one made in Italy production, not one style, one garment of normal style, okay? You need to love this business. You want to excited to propose, and so the passion, yes, okay, to propose this collection, and this is one of the most important things. You can find the best cooperation with the partner, with the company, and with the seller.
It's true. It's so hard to find the right partner, though. I mean, you find it, you missed it, and you find it again. But be persistent. I think that's what we are doing. What we all are doing here. And I have one more question for Mora. I mean, yes, you mentioned that you are there, you're finding a partner. You invest several money there to actually stay there and stick to and finally breaking into Russia. But why Middle East? And then, it's very interesting because a lot of people forgotten, when they think fashion, they think actually London, Paris, Milan, New York, but actually the other, it's interesting that how digital platform is starting to dilute that attention only on London, Milan, Fashion Week. I mean, it's interesting. It started to spread. And like yourself, you're looking at Middle East, and then now people starting to be interested in China, in Indonesia. I mean, that's why you guys are here as well, because you're looking at this market in Indonesia. And trust me, your clothes, your design, both works with different types of market, but they are here. So what makes you choose Middle East?
No, the Middle East is very important also for our production, for sure. Because we work with the Middle East from '97, so it's 20 years that we work with the Middle East market. And of course, every season we try to offer to the customer something new of the collection. So our main business in the collection is the polo shirt and the shirt, but we want in the future and every collection to propose to the customer something new, like shoes, like bags, like windstop, like swing shirt for.
So you expand the categories.
Yes, always.
Exactly like what you just shared. Expand the categories.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. You can stay more flat or quiet. Every season, every collection, you need to propose something new to involve the customer. And to see something new. Oh wow, this is new, not always the same article, the same collection, the same things. So I think this is very important, and this is another investment every season with the designer, different designer who propose different style, different print. And we also cooperate with the fashion designer school in Italy with a younger designer who propose his design, and then we choose at the end.
Yeah, of course, of course.
At the end we choose the right design and the final collection, for sure.
And then you collaborate with the students, you choose the design, and you sell it to that sales channels.
Yes, yes, of course, yes, of course. And we propose also different collection because we operate in all over the world, so from United States, from China, from Japan to Russia, but it's totally different idea. We have our idea, but we develop different color, different print, different fit as per different ground because
specifically for each market.
Yes, so we made also a big research in this matter.
Especially sizes, yeah. I mean, Betty, I think you are, I'm not sure if you are facing that. I think when you go to different market, the sizes always changing, you know. Is that difficult as a designer to create that kind of like different sizes?
In Asia, Europe, this small size is middle size in different next places. Thank you.
I think sizing is always going to be changing because women, or men, I found, especially women, we change quite a lot, you know, through times. And I think it's so important for designer to actually understand who you're designing for. First of all, you're going to understand the demographic that, you know, we are designing for, and who is that woman, where is she going, what does she do, and I think for me, that's the sort of question I ask myself, and be able to adapt. And I think that in the future, the made-to-measure and the made-to-order, if we can somehow combine the technology with the made-to-order, you know, the sizing from the client, and be able to deliver that in a fast amount of time with the right service. And if there's somebody can capture that, I feel that will be the future. Because you know what? An Asian woman is completely different to a European woman. I mean, we are not very, I mean, for me, I'm struggling. I couldn't really, my sleeve is always that long, as you can see, you know, whereas a European woman, the sleeve will be up here.
It's
I mean, my
different.
torso is a lot smaller than other women, you know. But for me, it's really about the cut and understanding each of the brand have a formula in arriving at the size that the woman become their ambassador, the woman become their fan, and they know the cut, they know the size, they come back for that. And each of the brand have the formula to do it. For us, we have our own. The moment you're putting on the Betty Tran dress, you will know that, you know, you will feel all the thing that we want to feel is that it's comfortable, it's stand out, and you know that's what we specialize in. It's actually comfortable, it's light, it's not heavy. And a woman who are getting married in Betty Tran, you know, they are so well educated now. There's no such formula for just a big princess dress. They will take that top and mixing with a choo-choo skirt. They can take the t-shirt. This is the way the fashions progress. There's no formula. So I believe as designer, you got to have to learn how to adapt. Even in sizing, you have to adapt.
No, I think that the fashion trend is always constantly changing, and sometimes it comes back, and the trend from the 20 years ago, 30 years ago also come back. Now, you have mentioned about you dedicate to what they need, and the dress becomes their own dress. And you have mentioned about your family business. Now it become a brand with a long history that has to be adjusted to the new trend in the fashion. So I think earlier before this forum, I was talking to the founder of Digital Fashion Week, Karina, and I just felt like, wow, like me personally, I love shopping. I love buying clothes. Sometimes I have sponsors. But actually, when I choose a clothes, my focus, like my personal focus is, do I look good in this dress? And sometimes I forget about, you know, like, is it good material, or where is it made from? Why this designer designed this? So everyone, when they look at the product or what they want to wear, we see different things. But now, since we have two designers and one fashion consult, and the founder of Digital Fashion Week. I think this is a very interesting conversation we're having
So
right now.
you are our consumer.
Yes, I'm listening actually. And you also mentioned about earlier that you wanted to, we wanted to have the topic, because since it's Digital Fashion Week, it's different than Fashion Week. It's because, you know, now e-commerce platform or social media, many people buy clothes from Instagram. 5 years ago, maybe this way of shopping didn't exist. People buy on the platform channel Taobao from Made in China. They have everything. And some people, I have some friends who runs a fashion business complaining, oh, I started to sell in China and now my business is taken over by someone I don't know. Yeah. And those things, I think once you have your own brand, you need to have your own strategy, how to maintain your brand, and also how to keep your client. And the trend of fashion industry is also changing. I want to know more about your opinion toward how you see this change, big change of the fashion industry. And also, I want to know more about how you consult in this change. And also, since you mentioned about you collaborate with the school, how do you deliver and carry this way of running fashion? And also, in our generation to next generation, we need to tell the story of how the fashion has been running, but also how to be friendly with the environment. And how do you see the next generation that fashion industry is going to be? So
I'll start with Crystal. Probably.
So many, sorry.
Okay. Well, the strategy that, I mean, you were asking me about the digital strategy and the different channel that a designer can use. We can buy on Instagram, true. I've been meeting there's a lot of app and startup on how to buy on Instagram. In Asia, you can also buy through YouTube. Yeah.
There is a video commerce right now coming up so soon. I mean, people are starting to developing it, but some people already start to use it. The video e-commerce, so cool.
Especially for beauty, it's huge. I mean, beauty was the kind of the first big channel from Instagram and all the social media. And then, there's different platforms, but I think Sheena is definitely a better expert into digital than am I.
I'm super keen on marketing and digital, so that's why to us, Digital Fashion Week is digital marketing platform for brands, designers, who basically embrace riding on the digital wave, not be afraid of them, but actually riding on it. Many people were like, oh my God, what should I do if, and so many competitions, don't be afraid, ride on it. Do the content, create more story, like what you did, create your own Betty Trend Women and so on and so on. So I think it's just so interesting how digital platforms actually changing businesses in instant. I think that's super interesting. So, back to you, how do you, I think to straighten the question is more on like, in the past, digital is not involved, your dad time but then now, fighting with thousands of products or brands out there that probably selling or trying to be a competitor. How do you ride on digital marketing, or what do you do? Like, is there anything that you do digitally that makes it work, or what do you do differently from the past generations?
Yes, there is a big difference from the past and from now. I think also in the future it will be also different, and the digital it will be a most important channel to buy or to sell. And I think that the next generation will buy only on digital platform. And now all of us has one iPad or iPhone to stay connected.
To click and buy.
Yes, always. So I think it's for the future. It will be the next important step. It will be the e-commerce and the digital store.
So, do you actually use that a lot right now for your business, or you still focusing more on like retailers and then bulk buying and?
No, at the moment, we are not on the e-commerce, but I think it will be the next step, because at first we want to build the brand, and then when you know the brand and you know the quality of the brand, you can start with e-commerce.
I think not being on e-commerce, it's also a strategy that can pay. Now what we know, okay, we've been having this ongoing conversation, brick and mortar against e-commerce. And right now what we are seeing worldwide is we are talking about clothes. So still people want to see it. Whenever we talk about handbags and shoes, when you know the fitting, then you can order online. But at the end of the day, people want to see it. Otherwise, I mean, store, they play so much into customer service and all this kind of thing for being kind of an experience. We talk a lot about experience. It's not a museum, it's a store, but experience anyway. So yes, right now, you know, the successful company Cézanne that I mentioned before, they have this apartment and people want to touch, wants to see. So I think it will be probably 50-50. There will be still e-commerce, of course, growing, but for fashion, it's people still wants to try, to touch. There's many different apps and startups who are doing me model and all these kind of things, but if you buy a $20 dress, that's fine, I can buy online, who cares? And then we are not talking about the kind of brand that you are, both of you guys. But if you want to buy something more expensive, more luxury, buy a piece of history, you have to feel and touch. So I think there will be different segmentation, and it's still a very open, and we have to be innovative anyway, for sure. Voilà. And this kind of platform, Digital Fashion Week, is very innovative because it's not only about runway show. Runway show, Fashion Week, they are everywhere, but it's immediately having the possibility for the audience to buy, just after the show, to buy those young designers, international designers who are here in Jakarta. And I think this is a step forward to really make things happen. And then you can feel a touch. And maybe after they can buy online, who knows? But it's a new way for consumer as well, to my opinion.
Yes, Betty.
I like to add just a few points. I think it's a balance about understanding technology, but it's also important to understand the client. It all comes down to the client that you are speaking to. The great thing about Instagram, social media, Facebook is that you have to be authentic. Yeah, because people can see through you very quickly if you're not genuine, you know, through your message. Back in the day, the model, you know, don't have a voice to advertise themselves. If they go into a casting and somebody treat them badly, there's no platform for them to share that experience. But nowadays, that is the platform. People speak directly to their audiences, and it's so important how the message is being conveyed. And I think that's something that we should embrace, is that, you know, back in the day we have to go through wholesaler, and the wholesaler will be sell directly to the consumer, and then we hear the consumer, you know, feedback to us, they will feedback to us, the wholesaler. Now you can do that directly. So that's the power of digital, and I think that's something we should embrace, and that's what you are embracing. You are speaking, you're starting these small ideas about what you wanted to do, but the world can hear your voice, and that is what technology enables us to do. But at the same time, the feel, the touch, like what Christelle's sharing, is so important. So I guess this is a balance, and the way that I predict the future would be you will go into the resale store, but everything you want, you will be able to customize it the way that you want it, because consumers are now so educated. They have so much information, and be able to work with technology to get that delivered to your door in the next 60 minutes. I don't know. You just don't know. You just don't know where this world can take you next. But it's exciting, and that's what fashion is. It's exciting, it's unpredictable, it's changing. That's why we're doing this.
It's true. Well, I would like to say thank you to all of you guys for being here. And thank you. So give a round of applause for yourself. All the way fly to Jakarta just for this. And this is a very important information that I would like to share with our people, you know, everyone who's watching. And then this will be documented. And I would like to share this document as well. What you shared is valuable, you know. Maybe 2 years later, when you see this, see, I told you so. You know, which is true. It's true. So please take it on. And then I think, you know, we've shared enough. And we will have another session soon.
Tomorrow.
You know? Tomorrow, another session of forum, and then please come back for our other Digital Fashion Week edition. Definitely.
By the way, this is the first one in Jakarta, and I'm sure you face different cultures when it comes to, you know, organize the event, and you meet different people, and everyone involved is coming from overseas, and I think in fashion industry, when it comes to, you know, make the deal, and when you market your brand, you have to adjust in a way to, you know, with different cultures. And for you as a founder of the Digital Fashion Week, now this time is in Jakarta, last time was in Singapore, and also in Bangkok. And how do you see, or what do you find when you have every Digital Fashion Week? Do you face some difficulty when it comes to express in their own culture? Or, for example, in Jakarta, also have their own taste of the fashion? Or some part needs to be customized in a way, need to cover and to be more conservative, or needs to be in a certain way? How do you see when you have this cultural differences?
I think every country definitely, I mean, no events done easily. Every part of Digital Fashion Week and every edition of Digital Fashion Week has its own challenges. Even in Singapore, in Thailand, in Indonesia, this is our first time in Indonesia. I think it has challenges in many different ways. You know, the way we work, the communications. I think. Yet we still pull this awesome event together. You know, I think a lot of people put their heart and soul into this project. What I love about this is I would actually really thank the volunteers and the team that has been putting their heart and soul to this. Trust me, they have been here 6 a.m., leave at 1 a.m., then the next day 7 a.m., 6 a.m., you know. They are super dedicated to make this happen. And we have an idea, but we need people to come together and to make people believe. I think it's the most beautiful achievement that I will remember forever. You know, in Singapore, we made like 50 volunteers be there every day. You know, that's the belief that is super powerful. Thailand is the same. Indonesia is the same. So, you know, the lighting people, the sound system, they are here every day since morning, you know. So the team is actually the core how we run this event. And that is, you know, the challenges that also we face, you know. So changing different countries, you can't always use your team to fly everywhere, you know. We need to be cost effective so that the designers can enjoy the show with cost effectiveness. And I think besides that, you know, why we actually move to different places, because so that besides we ourselves want to learn, you know, each different culture, the taste of the retail, you know, it's very important. We have grown so much from where we were back then in 2012. 2012 to 2015 is all about awareness. You know, we create awareness for the designers. We ride on digital platforms to make sure not only 500 people seated, but millions of people out there. And even until today, if you go to youtube.com/Digital Fashion Week, we have the 2012 videos. So people will still remember, can go back there. You know, when people last time, I don't need video. Yes, you do, you know. So we believe in that, and we communicate that very clearly. And what I think it's super important for us is actually now we have grown into making the platform make sense and relevant again, not only to fashion designers, to brands, to people who are involved. So not only an awareness platform, but the designers are mostly the one that we have been supporting. They're tired of just having a showcase, you know. Why do I want to have another showcase? It's so costly that I can spend on Instagram ads or Google search ads. I can create my own e-commerce there with that cost. So no, thank you. I mean, thank you so much, but no. But we have to innovate. It's a very fast-paced moving industry. If that doesn't work anymore, don't be afraid to change. Say stop to that. No more of just that. Let's offer another dish. It's like a restaurant. I mean, I think every business is the same. Restaurants, clothes, you create different categories. It's the same. It's just how you apply that to our business, your business, you know, your business, consulting business, events, organizing business. You know, we don't only think, okay, you know what, fashion industry, Fashion Week is always like this. No. To us, digital fashion, we think of it, yes, it carries the name Fashion Week, but as much as it is Fashion Week, it is a marketing platform. That's how I think it is, you know. Whatever that we do is actually to market and make sense to people who are involved. So that's why this year we thought, okay, if it's only a showcase, it's a waste. You know, since people are already here, we need them to hear about the designers and touch and feel and actually go back online and back again to offline. So this is online to offline marketing platform.
Which we saw yesterday after the runway, right away straight up to the 4th floor. We had a pop-up store that we had a presentation by the designer, and the audience can touch and ask the questions, and they can have a custom-made styling tips from the designer, which is very rare.
I mean, that is a lesson learned. I mean, to me, I'm not afraid to actually switch things and make things work. Yesterday, we have it at level 4. Today, we saw that it's so hard for us to bring us there, and we're not afraid. You know what? Stop it. You know, just announce it. But this time, for the next 2 days, we're gonna have the store here.
Right here.
Right
here. After the runway.
Just,
on the runway.
Just behind there. You
oh,
know,
wow.
we want after the show, we will call you guys up.
That's
to
a great
present,
idea.
to actually talk to the crowd when they are already here, so they don't go to level 4. Wait us here. We share. We talk to you like this. You know, so you get. Yeah, so you get the brand connections with the designers. And then guess what? You know, after this, our clothes is just there. You can take a look. You can purchase it right there. So this is why I think we are very proud as a team that, you know what, it doesn't work. Cut that, stop that, move to something else. Do something that makes sense. And even today, when we thought it makes sense, it still does not work very well yesterday. So we have to make it work today. So it keep on improving. I think that's what we are very thirsty for.
Wow. I think this Digital Fashion Week is all about fashion, not just about see the new collection. It's about behind the scene, who is involved, who is buying, why we are here. And you know, yesterday, so I was hosting right here, and I saw the influencers, and nowadays there's a word called KOL, Key Opinion Leader. And this is also another interesting thing that on Instagram, sometimes we scroll and find something, but sometimes it's by the client say, can you promote this? So she says something good about the brand, but then actually maybe she is saying what the client wants to sell. Yeah, so it's those are another thing that, you know, the guests can come here, they can feel the passion from the designer. And, you know, if it's Fashion Week, of course, they can see the collection with the models wearing it, but they will talk to you and, hi, I'm really like in love with your collection. And yesterday I saw Hari Halim upstairs after that, and Chu Swanapa from Thailand. His collection was very iconic. It's very interesting look and unique. Everyone went to him after I introduced to him I think they want to talk, and the KOL influencers, they all straight went to talk to him. And this, I think it's very important that they receive the message, yes, on the spot.
And those people, they become loyal fans. They become your future clients. It's true. This is how you...
The real followers.
Exactly, yeah. And they will be loyal to you because they've seen it, they talk to you, they feel connected. Bam, you seal it.
I just wanted to ask you on this forum session about how you see and how you run this Digital Fashion Week. It's because I know that you program this the time schedules for the designers to express and introduce. But then I also thought it's very important that the audience receive your message
About the event?
Yes, and also hear the real voice of how you run and how you change with the different places and how you find in different places with the different brands.
Well, I think the most difficult part is to find the right balance where everyone can be involved and still feel I'm involved. Crystal is a consultant. Mora is Gianluca Mora is a business owner. He runs a business that is inherited for many decades and still need to improve and still need learning and changing, and he's doing it, you know. And then Betty Chan is a fashion designer. So I think it's to find that balance is not easy, but certainly we are doing it. And I don't think it's perfect. Still many things to be done. But we will wait for the next edition. So I think what we have now, we are happy to what we have achieved.
Okay.
Our dream has always been here, but if we achieve here or here, we're still better than here. You know. So I think it is about striking that balance and be satisfied of what we have achieved. It's not easy, but this is what we are very happy about with the team and the people that we invited, and I hope everyone is happy being here. I think that's the most important part as well.
Yes, and thank you so much for coming on the stage to share your stories and your passion. So how can we keep updated informations, and how can they know the next Digital Fashion Week information?
I mean, of course, on digitalfashion.com.
Okay.
We are actually more active on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
So that's where we first communicate more than website. It's so strange, you know, for a marketing platform like us. Facebook and IG works better for us.
Okay. And also YouTube?
No. We do have, but the most effective one right now is Facebook and IG. Sorry, Google was my partner, but Facebook and IG.
Oh, so better to watch the Insta story?
Yes, they do. Yes. We have team like snapping pictures everywhere. We have 20 social media teams going around, snapping pictures backstage and live stories everywhere.
And also the models and makeup artists, which normally we don't get to know what's going on behind the scene.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Actually, we have another co-host. She's going to interview different people who is involved in this Digital Fashion Week. So I hope everyone can stay tuned. And first of all, thank you very much for coming on the stage and your time. And if they want to get more information about them, then I'm sure you have your website, and they can have
on our website, on our IG,
okay,
you know, on our Facebook, it's all there.
Okay, so IG and Facebook, very important. Okay, thank you very much.